are going to drive back, and I don't want to stay a whole lot longer. You know, we're planning to be here for the 2 weeks, and I'd like to come back, and then I don't want to drive down again. It's 14 hours.
Where are you?
Oh, hey, Michael, I'm in Charleston.
Michael.
Oh,
You're
cool.
Michael.
In Charleston.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm good.
Michael, do you have a new car?
Do I have a new car?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's a 2016, I think.
Well, no, there's a white car that's over there that looks like you got a new one, like you updated, but maybe not.
No.
I took the flowers out because the heat and everything ruins them.
So, yeah, I went there yesterday to water them. How are they?
They're just, I think they got diseased at the store, the bottoms of them, but I mean, they're so leggy and everything, but I brought them home and I gave them a bunch of water and put them in the shade, and I don't know.
Okay.
They don't last forever, you know.
I know. I want them to last forever.
I know.
Yeah. So does everybody have access to a pool?
No.
Yes.
A shower?
Shower.
Lake.
A lake? Do you ever go in it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it's been a long time. You know, right now it's too cold, but during the season, the one in my neighborhood in Clarence is spring fed, so it's always cool, which is nice.
Yeah.
And so it's beautiful. But we're doing a renovation project, and I am so sore that it's not even funny. I was pulling a ceiling down yesterday, so my whole upper is really sore. But I'm good.
Okay. Is this at the cottage?
Yeah.
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 So Marilyn, are you going to stay in visual contact?
I don't know. I'm in my closet. It's very distracting.
Tell Marilyn that she has to stay on video.
No, I'm not, because I'm in the closet.
Matter.
Come out of the closet, Marilyn.
Yeah.
This is my
Marilyn, you can't, otherwise we're going to cut you off, so you have to stay on video.
That's cool. Wow.
My connection is unstable. Must be the closet.
Well, let's get started.
You have your class plan?
I have a class plan. I'm going to have Darlene teach.
Is she there?
Yeah,
Is she there?
Yeah. Can
Is
you?
she there?
Can
Is
you?
she in the class?
Yes.
I'm here.
Gretchen, can you not see everybody?
No, I cannot see everybody. Not unless they come up, you know, like that.
If you go in the upper left or upper right-hand corner, it'll either say speaker view or gallery view. What does yours say?
Right hand corner? Oh, okay.
What's it say?
I don't know. Share video. Skip video.
No,
Microphone, skip video.
that's usually the lower left. Upper right. I'm
Yeah,
saying
what about it?
Got nothing in that.
you're looking to the left, it looks like, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, so what am I looking for? Do I want more?
No, upper right, it'll say,
Yeah.
it'll either say speaker view or gallery view. All of you should click on it at least once so you can see the difference. You all see that?
Mine didn't say that, but I entered full screen.
Okay. Are you on, what are you on, Marilyn? A pad?
No, an iMac, MacBook Air.
Well, you are. Okay, so you should have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll say full screen. Does it give you the time, the amount of time we've been here?
Well, now I just have the screen. So, oh wait. No, it does say gallery view. Let's see what that is.
If you click at the gallery,
Yeah.
it'll change. If you click at the speaker view, that'll change it.
Yeah.
Darlene, I assume you're familiar with that.
A little bit, yeah. I can see everybody though.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's begin. I'm going to talk to you about something that is actually yoga related. And there are 3 different Sanskrit words. All right, Gretchen, stop playing with the screen now.
How can you tell?
Oh my God, I see you.
Huh?
Stacy's up really close.
Oh, you count my wrinkles?
No, I don't see any. Okay, so there's something called abhyasa, and it's known as the practice. And basically, it's a spiritual practice. It is the practice to bring about tranquility, serenity, peace. And it can lead to shitao, which is tranquility. And that abhyasa, in conjunction with vairagya, don't you love these names? Which means detachment or dispassion. So if you have a practice, abhyasa, if you have a practice to get better, to get more peaceful, to get more serene, if you're attached to getting more serene and more peaceful, then it ain't gonna happen. You just do the practice and serenity will come. You do the practice and tranquility will come. You do the practice, abhyasa, and vairagya comes, okay? So it's renunciation or dispassion from the pains and the pleasures, both the pains and the pleasures of the world. And in doing those 2 practices, abhyasa and vairagya, you attain what's called moksha, or emancipation, liberation, release, enlightenment, freedom from what's called samsara, which is the cycle of death and rebirth. So if any of you have ever read or remember some of the teachings of the Old Testament where they said, this person lived 1,200 years and this person lived 600 years and 1,000 years, that was pretty common way back then. And we have an average of 70 some years in this lifespan, this lifetime. But scientists are saying those who are being born now should live 200 years. Because the body is designed to last forever. It's our mind, which is not at peace, is not tranquil, which destroys the body. So the body dies. But if you combine abhyasa and vairagya, you attain moksha, or enlightenment. And you last and last and last. And there's plenty of documents out there that talk about people who are very old, very, very old, even in the martial arts world, because they practice meditation a lot. Not most of them. And the same in yoga, not most of them, but some of them. So every time I start a class, I usually, probably 99% of the time, I usually have you close your eyes for a couple minutes, breathe, I have you focus on your breath, and go inside. When you do this, are going inside and you're going all over the place, you're wasting your time. You're actually accelerating the mind chatter, and that's really not what you're trying to do. You're trying to find calmness, even if it's just for a minute. So if you don't do that, if you can, go inside and shut it off, turn it off. Turn it down at least. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So do that. Close your eyes right now.
Hear my husband talking on the phone?
No.
Good.
So when you close your eyes, there's usually a ritual that each one of us individually have. You get the body relaxed. So you focus in on the breath, you focus in on your posture. You've already done some loosening up so that you don't feel stiff right now. You still your movements and you still the mind. And that is your only practice. Maintaining that state. Lower your chin. And begin your half circles. And take it into a full circle. Circle your eyes also. Reverse direction. Come back to center and look from side to side. And then back to center. Tilt your head to the right and move your head forward and back. Lift your chest so you maintain Tadasana in the torso. Shoulders back. And then go to the other side. Do the same thing. And then back to center and just roll your shoulders gently. And then take your arms and cross them in front, left over right, right over left. And try to keep your arms at least parallel to the floor. So don't let them drop down when you move them back behind you. And that'll stretch more of your pecs. And then roll your shoulders once again. That looks much better, Marilyn. Oh, you were hitting it. You're muted, I think. Yeah.
I kept hitting that dress when I went back. I thought,
Okay. I thought it was a fashion statement thing.
Any clothes.
Okay. Shake your legs out in front of you. And then roll down onto your mat. Bring your arms alongside your torso. Bring your heels in so your fingers can easily touch your heels. Press your lower back down, scooping your tailbone away from you. Lift your glutes, lift your hips up, come into your bridge. Bring your shoulder blades closer together. And then just move up and down pretty gently here. You don't have to come all the way down. As a matter of fact, if your shoulder blades are squeezing together, it may be challenging to come all the way down, unless you have nice back bend capability. But you're just pumping up towards the ceiling and releasing back down. Now, walk your feet right next to each other and take your right ankle and cross it on your left thigh, right above the knee. And then let that right knee drop so the hips are twisting a little bit here. The right knee is dropping. Flex that right foot. And then lift that right hip back up so the hips are parallel with each other. Set the foot down. Go to the other side. And let the left knee drop. So you're again twisting the hips. You're opening them up. Bring the hips back. Set the foot down. Take the right leg, lift it straight up. Reach it up. Now press into that foot that's on the floor. Lift the hips higher. And then switch legs. Step the foot down. Take the arms overhead. And then slowly roll down. Bring your arms, wrap them around your legs. Begin to roll from side to side. Now take your hands underneath your knees and start to roll forward and back. Each time you roll forward, balance before you roll back. Hopefully you have a fairly soft area that you're on. And then roll all the way up. And come into a seated position, but cross your legs the other way. So whatever leg is on the outside, put it on the inside. And then take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh, take your left hand behind you, and you're going to gently twist to your left. You don't have to push it. Just go easy here. Now come all the way to the other side. And then come to the center. Your legs are still the way they are. Come into a forward bend. And gently sway side to side. And then roll all the way up. And then uncross your legs, take your feet down on the mat. Bottoms of the feet are flat, knees are bent. Take your hands back behind you. You can have your fingers pointing back behind you if you want. And we're going to come into a reverse table. So take those shoulders, bring them back, slide them down, lift the chest. The chest lifts up the hips, and you look straight up. And then come back down. Now, this is what I'm going to suggest you do. You can have your hands like this, or you can have your hands like this. Either way, this is the easier way on your shoulders. When you come up here, see if you can go back a little bit. It's only an inch or two, okay? You're going to get a stretch in your forearms. So once again, shoulders back, lift up the chest, lift up the hips, look straight up, and then gently stretch out, come back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. We're going to do two more. Last one. Stay up here. Lift those hips up. And then lower down. Now, take those arms and start to move them. Shake them out. We'll then pull. So grab one hand and pull. Slide your shoulders down when you do this. And then switch hands. Now, take your right hand, let it just hang down, and you're going to press. Okay? You don't have to press hard to get an effect. And then Go to the other one. You know, sometimes if you've ever hung around martial artists, you'll see them doing stuff like this. Take both hands and gently press, and then see if you can lower your elbows. Wow, Darlene, that's crazy. And then move your hands around. Hands and fingers circling the wrists. Switch it. Now, take your right hand and reach it forward, straight arm, palm up. Hold those fingers towards you. Now take your shoulders and lower them. And switch. Now, does anybody have any issues doing that? Anybody feel that? Everyone's good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, darn. Okay. All right. From here, take your right leg out to the side. That's me. That's a tape recording I have. Because I don't have a dog. Marilyn, do you have a dog? No? A cat? I thought you did. Okay. All right, lean to your right. You have a gorilla. Yeah. Right. You do it much better than I do. Take that top arm and just reach it out a little behind you. Move your shoulder back. Take it straight up. Now reach, before you reach the arm, keep the arm straight up. Reach your left hip down and away. And then take that top arm and reach it towards those right toes. And then come on back up. Roll your shoulders. So take your hands forward. Take your hands forward. So your back is long. It's not rounded at all. It's long. Your chest is open and lifting. And then start to just go side to side. Still facing forward. You haven't twisted or turned. You should feel a stretch in the inner right leg. If you're inflexible there, you may not feel it. And you might feel it in other areas. Lower back is one. If you can keep your glutes down, come down to your forearms. Now, come on back up. Straighten those legs out, shake them out. And go to the other side. Start to lean to your left. Keep the right ribs and the right shoulder moving back. Reach that arm away from you. Take that right shoulder back even more. And then start to raise that arm up. You may not be able to lift it straight up yet. Slowly open up. Eventually bringing that arm straight up. Now reach your right hip down, your right glute down. And then reach that arm over towards the left toes. Straighten out that arm. Take a look at your top arm. Straighten it out. Engage that tricep. And then reach it over. So you're working here when you do that. Roll the right ribs back, the right shoulder back. Straighten the arm again. It's hard to keep that arm straight. At least it is for me. And then come on back up. Roll your shoulders. All right. Come into diamond pose. So butterfly is here, diamond, feet are away from you. But it's basically the same pose. It's a matter of distance of feet to hips. So in this pose, same thing. You can grab onto your ankles. Heck, you can grab onto your toes, but your spine is long. When you do go down deeper, you can take your arms underneath when you're ready to do that, okay? And you know, that'll bring you all the way down, but you work into this pose. Start to gently move a little from side to side as you work forward. In any forward bend, you've heard me say this before, you're working extension. That means simply trying to stay back bendy if you can. So how is your practice right now? Abhyasa. How is your spiritual practice? Are you focused in on what you're doing, or is your mind somewhere else? Now, inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, come into flexion. A little more. And then come on back up. Hey, I finally have one of my wisdom teeth coming in. Upper left, upper left, one of my wisdom teeth is coming in. And along with that, there's wisdom, I can tell you. It's just a lot of wisdom. Good thing. All right, that was the most wise thing I said today. So let's keep moving. Come on into table pose. And in your table pose, just do a few spinal waves. Whenever you come into table pose, do a few spinal waves. And then from here, we're going to take our right leg, reach it back. You're on the ball of the foot. So the ball of the foot is down on the mat. And you're reaching the heel away. You're pressing your hands down and away from you. And you're creating a stretch as you come into your cow pose, your extension. And then set the knee down and go to the other side. Do the same thing. Your hands are pushing away from you. Your spine is back bending. Your heel is reaching away. And then you set the knee down. Now, from here, curl your toes. Come into extended table first. Curl your toes. Lift your knees and come into plank pose. Now take your right hand and touch your left wrist and set it back. And take your right hand and touch your left shoulder and set it back. And then switch left hand to right wrist and left hand to right shoulder. Now come on down onto your knees. We're gonna do that again, but you're gonna have your feet right next to each other, okay? And when you do this, you're gonna have a tendency to wanna do this, kind of lean and open up. See if you can stay here. That's tough. So it's like, it's gotta be real quick just to stay where you are in space. See what you can do. Plank pose. Bring the feet to the center of the mat, right next to each other. Right hand, left wrist. Right hand, left shoulder. Engage the core. Left hand, right wrist. Left hand, left shoulder, or right shoulder. Set it down. Lower the knees. Reach back into a child's pose. And then start coming forward in child's pose, but with very bent elbows. And come into a cobra. And then back into your downward dog. And in your down dog, pedal out. Reach one leg straight, bending the other knee, letting the hip of the bent knee drop. And then you switch sides. And you slowly pedal out. Now, still all your movement, walk your hands back towards your feet. Come into a hanging forward bend, Uttanasana. Feel free to bend your knees. Straightening your legs. Bend them again. Take a look at where your feet are, bringing them hip distance apart. Remember, your hips are not that wide, so they shouldn't be more than 4 inches, 5 inches apart, maybe 6. Walk your hands forward. Lower your left knee. Supported side plank. Raise the right leg. Lift your sternum. Look up towards your hand. Look forward again. Look down towards the mat. Keep that lifted leg steady. Look back up towards your hand. Bend that right leg, reach back and grab the instep. Kick into that right hand. Back bend, create your back bend. Look up towards the ceiling if you can. You're working your balance and your proprioception, your stability here, your flexibility. And then reach the leg back up and the arms straight up. And then come back down. Come into your downward dog. Slide forward. Lower your right knee. Supported side plank on this side. Left leg lifts up. Now take your top arm and reach it towards the top of your head. Bring it straight up again. Lift the leg a little higher. Top arm towards the top of your head. Lift that leg, reach the arm straight up, bend the knee, grab the instep. Now kick. Kick into the hands so the hips go forward, the knees go back, the knee goes back. You start to open up the chest towards the ceiling a little bit more. Reach the arm up and extend the leg back. Close your pose, come down. Curl your toes. Reach back towards child's pose. Lift your knees up, come into your down dog. Slide forward into plank. Lower your knees, your chin, and your chest, or stay in a straight line and lower down very slowly. And then come back up into plank and down dog. Rolling forward into plank. Once again, we're going to do a push-up. Lower down very slowly. Push back up. Come back into down dog. Inhaling forward into plank. Lowering down. Pushing back up. Back into downward facing dog. And tiny baby steps forward. Forward bend here. Now take the tops of your hands to the mat. And press down, even if you have to bend your knees. And then let your arms just hang. Neck relaxes so the head hangs. Soften your knees and roll all the way up. And once you're standing, raise your arms up overhead. And palms together down in front. Release the arms down. Take them up again. Palms together. Lower them down and all the way on the exhale. Take it up overhead. Steeple position with your hands. Lean to your left. Turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Come on back up top. Lean to your right. Open the chest up. Come on back up. Release the arms. Roll your shoulders a couple times. And then bring your feet right next to each other. This is a pose you all want to do in the warm weather. Let's come into chair pose. Now lift up that sternum. Reach those arms up. Bend down even more. And come into a forward bend. Inhale all the way back up into chair. And from here, stand all the way up, reaching the arms up overhead, releasing the arms down to your sides. Take your right knee into your chest. Flex your foot. Set it down. Switch. Set it down. Inhale, up overhead. This time back bend. Without crunching the lower back, lengthening out of the lower back. Exhale into a forward bend. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, release. Inhale into chair pose. And from your chair, bring the palms in front of the heart. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Twisting to your right. Sit the hips down a little bit more. Inhale, back to chair. And palms to the heart. And then to the other side. Right elbow outside of left thigh. Hips sit down even more. And release to the floor in a forward bend. Walk your feet shoulder width apart and come on down into Malasana. Oh, where did I go? And then from here, come into Uttanasana, forward bend, straighten your feet out. Back into Malasana. Deep knee bends if your knees permit. Lift that sternum. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale into a forward bend, Uttanasana. Toes turn in. Inhale into Malasana. Exhale into Uttanasana. Soften your knees and roll all the way up. Reach the arms overhead, down in front, hands to the heart. Now take your arms out wide and bring your right arm over your left. So we're in eagle arms. Reach the hands forward, keeping the torso vertical. Bring the hands back in towards the face. And then extend the hands forward again. Bring them back in. One more time. Draw them in. Release the arms out wide. Other arm crosses over. Left arm on top of right. Hands right in front of the face, in line with the nose. Reach or extend the hands forward away from your face. Draw them back in. And again. Bring them back in. Bend your knees, come up onto the balls of your feet, reach the hands away from you. You're still in your eagle arm. Bring them back in. And then unwind. You're on the balls of your feet. Knees are bent. Come up higher. Bring those heels right above the balls of the feet. Bring the hands to the heart. Stay on the balls of your feet and come into a forward bend. Releasing your hands down, lower your heels. Pick the balls of your feet up off the mat. Toes are lifting, balls of the feet are lifting. You're only on your heels, and now set them down. Now with the feet right next to each other still, bend your knees and come into a squat. And bring your torso vertical. So you can come right up off your heels on this one. You're just working the toes, the feet, the ankle, tendons and muscles and tissues. What you're going to do is take your hands to the heart and you're going to lead and follow your hands all the way up. And then release. How you guys doing?
We're alive.
Okay, so take your right knee, lift it up, cross the right ankle above the left knee. Flex that foot that's lifted. Start to bend the standing left leg. Reach your hips back. Torso leans forward, but you're with a long spine, and you're working your balance here. You can take your hands to the inside of the knee, inside of the ankle, or you can keep your hands in Anjali Mudra, or you can go deeper and set your hands down, either on blocks or on the mat. Stretch out that right glute area, the piriformis muscle. If you're deep, you're feeling that in the piriformis. And then begin to lift back up and release that foot. Other side. Cross the ankle on top of the knee. Start to bend the standing right leg. Hips reach back. Torso leans forward. Flex that foot that's lifted up. Go deeper. Keep your torso in extension. Feel that stretch. And then begin to come all the way up. Is there a pose you're looking for? Anybody needs to do? Lori, how are your shoulders and your arms?
I am doing well. It feels good to get everything moving, so.
Okay. Marilyn, have you been gardening?
Yes, when I was home, I was doing a lot of gardening, not here.
Yeah, okay. How are you feeling?
I'm doing okay. Thanks.
Okay, and Darlene, you're the walker.
Tough for so long on my tailbone.
How is your tailbone?
Well, it was sore from sitting in the car for 14 hours, but
Yeah, I bet.
thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Everyone else good?
Doing
All
good.
right, what we're gonna do, you all have blocks or a pillow or a book, a thick book of 2 to 3 to 4 inches. Like these blocks are 4 inches. I think these are 4 inches thick. So we're gonna sit down. We're gonna take our right leg back, and the toes are going straight back. And normally when we do this, we tend to lean. So if you're leaning quite a bit, you take something underneath your left glute. Under the glute, not under the left leg, just under the left glute. And then that way it evens out your hips and you can sit up tall, vertical. Now make sure you have enough room behind you to lean back if you want to lean back. So if this is enough of a stretch where you're vertical, just stay here. If you want to come back, take your hands back behind you. And just slowly work into this. You've done this one before. Just pay attention to your knee joint, your right knee that's bent underneath you. And if you're in a closet, just grab anything. I saw that. Oh, that's funny. So I like to roll the leg that I'm stretching, the one that's bent underneath you. I like to roll from side to side because that gets a lot of the fascia and a lot of the other muscles, since it is a quad or 4 muscles all blended together that you're trying to stretch out. Have you ever let a single movement, such as this, become your vinyasa? You know how cat-cow can become a vinyasa for you, right? It's 2 movements. But can you get into this so much that you just lose time? You forget about everything else.
Never. My knee hurts too much.
How about the other side? Is it different?
No, both my knees are not very happy in this position. I mean, when they're bent.
All right, so lean to the side, Lori, like I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
and do that. That'll take the pressure off the knee joint and the kneecap.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the position. I can't, I'm in it. I just can't move very much.
Okay, move slowly, or they said lean to the side.
Thank you.
All right, so lean to the side, everyone, and let it kick out easily. And then massage that joint, even if it doesn't hurt. You're bringing blood flow to this guy.
I think the top of my foot was hurting more than back.
Yeah, anybody else feel that?
I think so.
So when that happens, you take a blanket, you roll it up a little bit. You don't have to roll it up a lot. You put it under this part, not here, but this part here. That takes the pressure off. It actually allows you to go from this straight, or trying to be straight, to go like this, because this part will be hanging. Okay, so if you put the blanket here, you should not feel that as the number one thing. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some people are so tight there. So go to the other side.
It doesn't hurt on the other side.
Say that again.
This side is fine. I don't feel it.
Right.
Fine.
Lori, feel free to lay on, on the side, on your side as you do this.
Yeah, I'm seeing how this feels, and I put a blanket under my knee and my ankle, and it seems, I'm still crooked by all means,
Okay.
but I'm trying to relax. Ah,
One leg to the other for me is like night and day.
Can you guys hear me? Because I lost audio.
Yes,
Oh, wait, now I can hear you. Were you not talking for a while?
correct.
Okay. Don't be doing that. You get me all mixed up.
When I
At
saw
least
you
like breathe real heavily so I know you're there.
when I saw you walk away, I said to everybody, "Don't say anything."
Well, everybody froze. So and it said my Wi-Fi wasn't working right. And when I came back, there was no sound. And I thought, oh my God. Okay.
No, you're good. Okay, come on out of that if you haven't already. Sit up and this time come into butterfly pose. And work all aspects of this pose. Bring your hips closer to your feet, or your feet closer to your hips. And start to move those legs. As you're moving the legs, Start to bring your lower back forward. That'll lift your chest and bring you taller in the pose. And then start to get both knees going down at the same time. Now, while you're doing this, start to massage your instep here, where your thumbs and access. You can butterfly your legs, or you can just press them down and hold them down. Now work up towards that big toe. And you're going to grab onto the sides of the toe. So you're pressing the inside and the outside. You're working your way to the tip, and then you're going to press down on the tip of those big toes. So usually with a single finger to make it more pointed. Work your second toe. Sides and bottom of that second toe, go to the third toe. Fourth toe. And the fifth one, I take the fourth and the fifth and I press them down with my thumbs right into the floor. And then take your hands back behind you and lift that sternum. Try to bring the hands close so that you're mostly vertical, perhaps back bending a little bit. And then come upright, bring your hands forward, slide your legs long, circle your feet, roll them reverse direction. And then from here, roll all the way down onto your mat and enter into your Shavasana. Move your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bend your elbows. Draw your knees in one at a time. Roll to your right side. And then come on up to a seated pose. Bringing your hands to the heart center. Giving thanks for the practice you just had, for the time spent together, and for safe travels. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.
Thank you.
Go
Thank
sweet.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
See everybody.
Good to see you guys.
Thanks.
Bye. I'm leaving the meeting.
All right, bye.
Bye.